All right, today's lesson is 12.3, surface area, pyramids and cones. Be very similar to the formulas that we used last week when we talked about prisms and cylinders. So we're going to find lateral area and surface area of pyramids and lateral area and surface area of cones. We'll get that all in today. Got quite a few examples to work through in the lesson. First, just label the parts of a pyramid. A pyramid, we'll only be talking about regular pyramids today, not irregular pyramids where they would have kind of a lean to them. But regular pyramids will have a regular polygon base, so it can be a square or a triangle, it can be an octagon or just whatever shape, but it will be a regular polygon, so all the sides will be the same length. The altitude of the pyramid will always form a right angle with the base. And a new term or a new part that we're going to have in this lesson that we didn't have with prisms is the slant. And the slant is the length or the height of this face that leans in from the base of the pyramid up to the point, the vertex at the top where the altitude reaches. So it's a slanted line, it's a slanted plane, and so the height of that face is called the slant, and that'll be a big part of the formulas that we use today in finding the surface area of these objects. So let's just jump into some formulas and examples. The lateral area, L, of a regular pyramid is the lateral area equals 1/2 the perimeter times that's a lowercase l, and the lowercase l is the letter that they use for the slant height. So the formula is just lateral area equals 1/2 the perimeter times the slant. So step one is just going to be find perimeter, similar to what we did last week. So when we have this pyramid here, what is the perimeter of this pyramid? It's 16. It's 4 times 4. So perimeter equals 16 inches. And then the slant, the length of this height right here is 6 inches. So step 2 is just going to be use the formula. It's 1/2 perimeter, which is 16, times the slant, which is 6. So half of 16 is 8. 8 times 6 is 48. 48 inches squared. And that's the lateral area. So that includes all of the triangular sides that make up the pyramid part, but it doesn't include the area of the base. For the surface area, we need to find that lateral area that we just did, and we need to add the area of the base. This time with prisms, in the last lesson, there were always 2 bases that were the same size and shape. This time, of course, there's only going to be 1 base because all the points meet at a vertex at the top. So the surface area formula is going to be the lateral area, which is this 1/2 perimeter times slant, and then just add the area of the base. So step 1 is find lateral area. Step 2 is find the base area.
How do you find that? They don't give it the numbers.
This is just an example. Yeah, there's no numbers to work through on this one. And then step 3 would be lateral area plus base area, and that's going to give you the surface area. So I tried to keep it very similar to what we did last week. Same steps. The formulas to get those steps are going to be a little bit different since they're different shapes, but you still have kind of the same process to go through to get them. So I want to find, and I've got probably 4 or 5 examples here of pyramids that with different shaped bases, different information given for each one, and I want us to find surface area and lateral area of each one. Of course, if it says to find surface area, you've got to find lateral area anyway. So really you could just say we need to find surface area, and we'll highlight the lateral area along the way. So part A is find the perimeter. So the perimeter of this base is just 11, 12. 12 times 4 is 48. And then the lateral area is going to be 1/2 perimeter times slant. So lateral area equals 1/2 of, it's equals 48 times what?
17.1.
How'd you get 17.1?
A squared plus B squared plus C squared.
Okay, so what we have is a right angle right here. And so the long leg of the triangle is 16, so 16 squared plus 6 squared, since it's half the distance of the base side. 16 squared plus 6 squared equals the slant, so we'll call it L squared. And when you do the math on that, L equals what? 17.1 centimeters. So the lateral area then is 1/2 times 48 times 17.1.
$410.4.
410.4. All right. Step 2 is find the area of the base. That's pretty simple for this one. It's just 12 times 12 equals 144. So that's the area of the base. And then part C, we found the lateral area already, and we found the base area, so we need to add those two together.
554.
It's, say that again.
554.4.
So 410.4 plus 144 is 554.4.
Yep.
That was pretty straightforward.
Now this one's
Some of them are going to get a little trickier. All right, everybody got that? All right, so this one's not too bad. We've got to use Pythagorean theorem to find this line right here so that we can find the perimeter, because when we find this line, that's going to be half of one side, right? That's if it's a rectangular or a square prism, or a rectangular or a square pyramid, we can do that. So we can make that jump on this one, but later on we're going to get into some that we can't do that with. So for here, since this is square, we can find this length and then double it to find the side length. So 9 squared plus x squared. X squared equals 11 squared. So 81 plus x squared equals 121. So that means x squared equals 40. So x equals 6.3. 6.3, so that means a side length is going to be 12.6. So we can find the perimeter is going to be 12.6 times 4. $50.4
Yeah.
inches. And then to find the lateral area, we do 1/2 of that perimeter, so 50.4 times the slant, which is 11.
$277.2.
So lateral area is 277.2 inches squared. Part B, we just need to find the area of the base. So that's 12.6 times 12.6.
$158.76.
158.76 inches squared is the area of the base, and then part C is just add those two numbers together. So 277.2 plus 158.676. Say that one more time.
535.96.
That can't. That's not right.
435.
435.96 inches squared. So lateral area and surface area. All right, now we'll get into some pyramids that have different shaped bases. This is, what shape is this? Hexagonal pyramid. So the base is a hexagon, and we still need to do those same steps that we did. So part A, step A, is just to find the perimeter and then use the perimeter. It's still the same formula, 1/2 the perimeter times the slant. So we know the slant. We just need to find the perimeter is going to be easy to find. So perimeter is 5 times 30, or so 5 times 6, sorry, equals 30. 5 times 6 equals 30. And then the lateral area is going to be 1/2 of 30 times 8. 15 times 8 is 120.
Yeah.
Lateral area is 120 centimeters squared. All right, now we have to go back to what we learned in last chapter. Think about a hexagon. And I know that all I know is the side length. It's 5. And so we've got to think back to what, if we had the radii, and then we draw in, what's this one called? Apothem. Okay, so we need to know the central angle. The central angle is 60, and then when we put the apothem in, then this is 30, so it's a 30, 60, 90. The side opposite the 30 degree angle is 2.5. Since it's half the length of the side, so 2.5. And then 30, 60, 90, I take the short side and do what to find the long side? Yep, times the square root of 3. So this side, the apothem, is 2 times the square root of 3. 2.5 times the square root of 3. So apothem is 2.5 times the square root of 3.
Equals 4.33.
4.33?
Yeah. That means
Okay, so what was how did we find the area of a regular polygon?
all that.
1/2 perimeter times apothem, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We already know the perimeter, it's 30. And this, by the way, this is part B. We're finding the area of the base right now. So we need to do 1/2 the perimeter, which is 30, times the apothem, which is 4.33.
64.95.
64.95?
Yeah.
So that's the area of the hexagon base. Now we just do the addition. So it's 120 plus 64.95. So that's going to be 184.95 centimeters squared. That's the surface area. All right, what shape do we have here?
That is a pentagon.
That is a pentagon. So it's a pentagonal pyramid. So we're going to have to find, again, the lateral area is the same formula, 1/2 perimeter times the slant. And then we're going to have to find the base area of the base as well. So we've got a lot of work to do on this one because we don't know the slant, and then we don't have enough information to find the area of the base either. So we've got a couple of things to do. How do we find the area of the slant? Or the length of the slant.
The length of slant.
Yes.
We're gonna have to back up. We're gonna have to use the pentagon. We may have to do step B first on this one, or we don't have enough information to use the Pythagorean theorem. Nope. Because we don't know any distances from the center of the pentagon out to the edge. We don't know the radius of the pentagon that would give us the number, or the, actually what we would need to know is the apothem, because we need it to come here to where it's the slant. Okay, so we need to know the apothem in order to know where that the base of this line to the top of the slant goes. So what we've got is we've got a pentagon, and all we know is that a side length is 5 inches. Nope, that was the last one. Sorry, 4 inches. So when we draw in the radii, what's the central angle?
8. 8 times 5 is 85.
360 divided by 5. 72. Central angle is 72 of a pentagon. So when we put in the apothem, it's 36. So that means this is 2, this is 2. So how do we find trigonometry? SOHCAHTOA. Which one are we going to use? Tangent. Okay, we know that this angle right here, I'm running out of space. It's 32 degrees, right? And that's opposite over adjacent. So sine of 32 is 2 over x. Or tangent of 32. Tangent 32 equals 2 over x. And when you have the variables on bottom, you can just switch sides. So x equals 2 divided by tangent 32.
3.2.
3.2. So the apothem is 3.2. Now you can use Pythagorean theorem to find the length of the slant. It would be 7 squared plus 3.2 squared equals L squared. L is the slant.
$59.24.
59.
7.7.
7.7 is the L.
Yep.
So L equals 7.7. All right, so now we can start with part A and part B. I mean, we did all of this so that we could start with part A. Part A, the perimeter is 4 times 5, which is 20. And then the lateral area is going to be 1/2 of 20 times the slant, which is 7.7. So half of 20 is 10 times 7.7 is going to be 77. So the lateral area is 77. Now we need to find the area of the base, part B, which is going to be 1/2. The perimeter is 20 times the apothem, which was 3.2. Half of 20 is 10. 10 times 3.2 is 32. Part C, 77 plus 32, 99 inches squared. Wow, that had a lot of stuff to going on in it.
77 plus 30.
Yeah, that's 100.
That's 100 and what?
77 plus 32.
Is 109?
Yeah.
Who said 99?
Jeez.
That's alright.
Oh,
He's dysfunctional.
Yeah.
109. He never shows work on anything is a problem. Tries to do it all in his head.
I think like 85%.
All right. So that's where, I mean, those are the kind of problems that you can be doing with pyramids.
That's a lot.
All right. Cones. I think cones are easier than pyramids. The formula is simpler. There's not as much stuff. You don't have to worry about apophthegms and stuff like that, so it's not as hard usually to find the information that you need. Again, the parts of a cone, you've got the base that's always a circle. The altitude forms a right angle with the base and goes up to the vertex. And the slant is just the, it's that diagonal part there. And all we're going to be worried about right now are right cones. We're not going to have any slanted cones that look weird. Okay? So here we go. We'll jump right in and look at a couple of formulas. The lateral area of a cone is right here. It's just pi times radius times slant. PRL is the lateral area of a cone. And then the surface area is going to be that lateral area, of course, PRL, plus the area of one circle. And you already know how to find the area of one circle. It's PR squared. So the surface area is just PRL plus PR squared. So let's do this one real quick. Pi times radius is 12 times the slant, which we don't know. So we got to find it real quick. Pythagorean theorem. So 12 squared plus 16 squared equals this is a Pythagorean triple, by the way. It would reduce to 3, 4, 5. Not 25, 20. So the lateral, the slant has to be 20, be 12, 16, 20. So that's pi times radius times slant plus pi times radius squared. PRL plus PR squared.
$1,206.37.
1,206.37 feet squared. So pi times the radius is going to be 7.4 since they give a diameter there. So radius is 7.4 times the slant is 15 plus pi times 7.4 squared. $520.75 centimeters squared. I like cones a lot better. They're much simpler, it seems to me. A little summary of the formulas that we've learned up to this point. I would appreciate it if you would look those over before tomorrow's quiz, because you're not going to have those formulas on the quiz. You're going to have to know how to do these without looking at the formulas. So the formulas are, they're not that difficult. You just have to keep them straight. So there they are for you. That will get you ready for the quiz tomorrow.